Okay, welcome to Gru, and thanks so much for taking time out of your night and coming on the show.
Well, hey, I sincerely appreciate you having me on the show. I mean, I followed it from time to time again, and now I get to be a
Nice.
guest on it. So really, really cool opportunity. Appreciate you having me.
Wow, thank you. I'm really happy to hear you actually followed it and saw some
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes, always. Got to keep up
Nice.
to date. You got to keep up to date with what you're doing. That's something I get preached to all the time in this business and in the professional wrestling
Oh,
industry is you got to stay up to date.
yes.
And that's something that I am doing my best to is stay on top of my game. So it's really cool that I get to be a part of this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, like, the first thing I want to start out by asking you is that do you still go to college or you're done college?
Yeah, no. So I still actually attend college as we speak right now.
Okay.
So I'm a marketing major in university, which
Wow.
has helped me tremendously in wrestling. And I'm actually still an NCAA athlete. So I'm a cheerleader out of all things in university, and I love it. And what a tough sport, what a tough time. So I manage cheerleading, I manage the books and studying, and then I
Oh,
manage
wow.
traveling on the life on the road, I would say 24/7 almost for professional wrestling. I felt as if I'm in summer break right now from school, and I feel like I've had
Yeah.
zero to minimum break time away from wrestling. It's just been, travel, come home, wash my gear, change some clothes, get right back on the road. And sometimes a guy like me just wants to sit down and play some Xbox. I'm like, all right, like I'm trying to find a little free
Well, that's the life of traveling for this great sport. And out of anyone that could tell you that your father could definitely tell you how, like, how the road is traveling, all those dates, like hardly being home.
Yeah, that's true. He's one of the when I first started, like I don't really, I'm not the one to complain often, I would say. But I remember I was stuck in the airport for a few hours and I was just really, really tired. So I gave him a phone call and I was like, man, this is just really stinks. And he said, son, get used to it. I've done it for 40 something years. I was like, done deal, Dad. I'm not complaining anymore. I'm done complaining. I didn't mean to. Yeah, but that stuff happens, Sometimes you're like, geez Louise, this road life it's tough, but I wouldn't have it any other way. As I speak right now, I would not have it any other way.
Nice. And it looks like Billy's joining us. Okay, Bill, you're joining us.
Hey,
What's up, Billy?
what's up?
Hey,
Sorry,
Billy.
guys, I'm late. I'm never late.
That's
You're
all right,
okay.
buddy. Billy had work, so he had to work late tonight.
Hey, Billy, we all understand. I promise
Yeah.
you, we all understand.
Yeah, work sucks. I'm not a fan of work, but I'll do it if I get paid.
That's it. That's what we like to hear. The money first, baby. That's what we like to hear.
Yes.
So, Bill, just to keep you up to date, I only asked him one question so far, so I'm going to ask him a few more, and then you can hop on with your questions.
Okay. Yeah. My stuff.
Fantastic.
So another thing I want to, I saw, like, one of the things you did, you actually played Rocky in the Rocky Horror Picture.
That's right. I did. So before
that is so awesome.
Before I even stepped foot in actually wrestling, I did professional theater. I did community theater. Got the opportunity to go professional in that lovely entertainment business, and then the opportunity led to auditioning. And I told myself, like, a year before, I was like, man, I would really love to play Rocky in Rocky Horror one day. And then I told it to a couple of directors. Time went by, and then a director called me out of the blue, leading into a few months before October, when we're going to showcase the shows all over the eastern part of the country. And he's like, hey man, I got this perfect role for you. If you come and audition, you could sing the part and on it. And I was like, oh yeah. And so he didn't tell me exactly like what the role was. He's just like, I just need you to show up. And he's like, make sure you got like a good pump on you. And I was like, a pump? Excuse me. He's like, like a good workout pump. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So like, I lifted a ton of weights before I brought my weights in my car. So like when I got out of my car, I was like, I did like bicep curls in the parking lot and stuff. I had bands and stretching. Anyways, walked into the audition. And sure enough, he hands me a script, and it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I'm thinking to myself, holy crap, this is it. Like, this is the opportunity. And mind you, this wasn't like a community theater show. This was like a really big deal, like national tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just turned 18, and I was the youngest in the cast. I was casted, and man, what a freaking time. Like, I don't often get nervous, especially in like theater or anything like that. But that was like the nerves that came over me in that audition. Is like, man, I could play Rocky. Like, that's really freaking cool. So that's kind of how that came about. And we toured with it, if I'm not mistaken, for 6 weeks. And
oh, wow.
What a fun show. I mean, it was, if you pictures may be out there on the internet of myself, but what that was before I thought about getting more into wrestling, but what a fun time. I wouldn't change those moments for anything. I mean, that was truly some of the most fun I've ever had on stage. It was the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Nice. Yeah, I love the film, and going to see it live around Halloween time, that showing at 12 at midnight, like they always do, like the Rocky Horror.
Yes.
That's so much
cool.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
So freaking cool, especially like the callbacks of the show when the audience is yelling at the actors. Like, how freaking cool was that? That caught me off guard the first night. I remember we did so believe this or not, so we did like, in theater you have a thing called Tech Week, which is like the week or 2 weeks before the show opens that you just continuously run it and get the kinks worked out of the show. And during that, we had a couple people yell some callbacks to us, but it really kind of caught me off guard. On the first night of the tour, we're completely sold out. I believe 300 and something people are in this building, sold out, not a seat available, wasn't available for weeks on end. And but all of a sudden, before I come out there and they're yelling all these callbacks, and kind of threw me off guard for a second. One of them was so funny. I wish I could recall it, but one of them was so freaking funny. Like, I almost broke character. My director was like staring me off stage, like, character, and I was like, all right, like, just what a freaking great time. Jeez Louise, the memories I just brought back was fantastic.
Nice. And besides watching your dad wrestle, like, who are some guys you grew up watching?
Yeah, so like, especially when I traveled with my dad to all these independent wrestling shows, I sat in the back seat in the DVR player watching wrestling, watching clips, checking things out time and time again. So the most thing I really liked to do was watch like the old Ring of Honor tapes. And I put it on the DVR player, and some people that really stuck out to me is Beautiful Bobby Eaton. Yes. I love Bobby Eaton. I love watching Dennis Condrey and watching those old tapes. I love watching like Bryan Danielson, especially Samoan Joe. Those are really fun characters that I really enjoyed watching in wrestling. On top of that, there's a few other that kind of stick out to me. Like, I watched some independent wrestling of Cesaro before it became Cesaro. Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero. There's quite a few names. I could go on and on and on of who I love watching wrestling, but this show would probably take up another 3 hours of your time. So I would rather kind of stick out with some of those names.
Okay, there you go. And when you first knew you wanted to get involved with wrestling, when you told your dad you wanted to get involved with wrestling, because I'm sure he's the one that helped find a wrestling school and all that, like, what did your dad say when you told him you wanted to get involved in it?
He loved it. My dad owns a wrestling school.
That's right.
It's in School Morton. Right. And I helped out with that a few times back in the day when I was in my theater contract. I would go there and try to train with some of the boys and stuff like that. But I didn't officially go full time until 2020. But before I even started wrestling, he'd made me learn the aspects of wrestling. I became a referee. I started refereeing wrestling. I managed wrestling. Like, I managed some of the wrestlers out there. I did commentary for a little brisk. I did some announcing. Like, he literally made me learn the whole side of wrestling besides wrestling. Like, quite frankly, I learned the whole thing besides the legitimate part of stepping in the ring, in which I learned that from years on end of being on the road with them, training with them. So when the opportunity came, I was pretty ready. I was pretty sharp, and I think that's why I took the wrestling world by storm. Is when I made my debut. I had a hell of a debut, so it was a fun time. It was a really good time to know that I was prepared and ready to go.
Nice. And how was training like for you? Like the actual training to be a pro wrestler? Like a lot of people don't know like a lot of time it takes, and it's very physical, and you do leave there feeling bruised up and can't walk. And
yeah, I mean, very so. I mind you, I've been in this business the whole life, so I've been training, almost time and time again. And but for the typical wrestler, I mean, you're in a wrestling school for at least 12 to 15 weeks, and you're in there about 3 or 4 nights a week, 3 hours at a time. But besides that, you have to put the dedication in the kitchen. You got to put the dedication in the gym, and then mentally and physically, you got to put that dedication in, because in this entertainment business, we have our ups just as much as we have our downs, and that's a hard roller coaster of emotions to follow. Is having, like, for example, this past weekend, I just wrestled in Ric Flair's last match. Like, how freaking cool is that, in front of 8,000 screaming wrestling fans? Since it was so badass, but like that was a super, super high. And then, like my next like huge event is participating for NWA here at the end of this month of August, facing Homicide. So like you have that little gap in between, mind you, I wrestled this weekend, and it's going to be a great event. And I'm really looking forward to the Gathering 3 in Charlotte, North Carolina. But, the same thing. And that's the thing of wrestling, is you're going to have your ups just as much as you're going to have your downs. But it's important, I should say, to stay strong, and stay strong physically and mentally, and just know that good things happen to those who work hard.
Exactly. And what was the worst bump you ever took? I know there's like plenty of bumps, and a lot of them hurt. Most of them hurt.
One that really sticks out to me was it was an inaugural tournament for Tracy Smothers, the late great Tracy Smothers. And it was like the second match I had, and I was wrestling AJ Gray, which is a GCW wrestler. And AJ and I were out there, and we're beating the shit out of each other, quote unquote. Choose my mouth. I'll watch my mouth a little. But we're beating the absolute shit out of each other.
You can say whatever you want.
Cool. And we're beating the hell out of each other, quite frankly, man. I mean, it's boom, boom, and I'm already I got a cut on my eyebrow. But anyways, I go to the top rope, and AJ follows me, and this strong ass dude picks me up from mind you, where he's sitting on the middle rope, I'm on the top rope, picks me up in a suplex position. I'm standing in a suplex position, and like when it comes down, he like catches me, and like I go for a quick pin. But when I come down, I hit my knees on the mat. And I had knee pads on, I had protection, but really, quite frankly, the worst pain I've ever been through. And I played sports my whole life. I got hit in football numerous times. I amateur wrestled, had broken noses. Truthfully, the worst pain ever to hit that wrestling mats from 7 feet in the air, straight to your knees while he's like catching you. I thought I shattered my kneecap, quite frankly, it was just fine. Like I got up and I walked away after the match, but it was most definitely having some faith on your side and having the good man upstairs beside me on that one, because what a hit. I'll tell you that much. It took the breath out of me. I mean, it literally it knocked my ass out almost. It felt like just hit your knees, like by the impact of my knees hitting the mat. Truthfully, so far in this career, that was the worst thing that comes to mind.
Ooh, damn.
Man, that sucks. Ultimately.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Wow. Bill, you got your questions now, right?
Yeah, I do have some questions for you, sir. So how was your experience been so far working NWA and MLW?
Man, I love it. It's an awesome question. I truthfully love both companies. They treated me like a king. When I showed up, it was really cool. Especially in this business, I have the mannerism of my last name, but my last name is not what got me there. And I think it's hard work and effort and dedication and and they realized that. And so when I stepped foot in the door, they've been so kind to me. They worked with me real well, and it's been nothing short of hard work so far. I took some ass whoopings time and time again, but at the end of the day, I stood back up and I kept on walking, and now my opportunities got me to then this month wrestling Homicide for the World Junior Heavyweight Championship of the National Wrestling Alliance. So, I mean, what an atmosphere, what an environment, and so far, I mean, hopefully next time I come on this podcast, I'll be your NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Hey, exactly.
Awesome. And how's it like working with Veers like Tommy Rich, Barbarian, and George South?
Oh man, so great. Tommy Rich is a good friend. These guys are, mind you, legends in the professional wrestling world. But it's cool when you get to know them personally and they know you personally. And truthfully, I've had such a fun time wrestling with these guys and learning most importantly. Actually this fall weekend, let's see, today is Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Saturday night, which will be August 6th. Okay. It's Colby Carino and George South in the main event versus Ricky and Kerry Morton. So how crazy of a matchup could this be? So
that's amazing.
Really, really neat and humbling to know that I get this an opportunity and environment to wrestle all these guys and learn from them. I think learning is what I can take away the most.
Oh man, that's so awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Do you love teaming with your dad and starting a new tag team legacy with him?
So cool. Yes, especially the lineage that my father had prior, just in the Rock and Roll Express and other tag teams here and there. The York Foundation, another one that sticks out. He had so much success, and now that he gets to kind of paint his picture, and along with me, is truly just such a blessing. Not only do I have to, I get to wrestle with my dad. I have such a great relationship with him. We're like best friends, and then when it comes to the case that we're partners in crime, and that's my business partner. That's also taking the ass whooping along with me. So it makes a difference. It makes a difference. I'm telling you. So it's been nothing short of amazing. I think he loves it. And don't be surprised if you see us holding some gold here in the near future, because that's what's on our mind.
Oh man, I want a VIP ticket for that too.
Listen, I'll make sure to comp you guys one when it happens. I promise you that.
There you go. Okay.
I'll comp you guys some tickets. I'll make sure of that. That's on me.
Awesome, man.
Okay.
So I read online that Jim Cornette talks to you a lot and gives you pointers on matches.
That's true. I might get a little heat from this, quote unquote, but it's true, man. Jim has been, Jim's not notoriously known for being a nice guy. So, but he's been nice with me. He's been watching my stuff. He keeps up to date. He talks to my dad continuously. And it's fortunate that I get the opportunity to learn from Jim. Although a lot of people don't necessarily like that. It's cool that I get to pick his mind and talk to him, and that he's watching and keeping up to date with Kerry Morton. I mean, that says something. I think that speaks a little mannerism of my work. So it's a really, really cool opportunity that I get to work with him. So, yeah.
Nice, man. So do you prefer working singles or tag?
Ooh, both. I really love the singles atmosphere I get in the National Wrestling Alliance. And, in the independence time and time again, I'm usually booked in a singles match too, and I love it. Singles is really fun. Tag, though, I mean, is unlike any other specialty of wrestling. I mean, tag team wrestling is where the magic begins and is created and is potioned into this wonderful, magnificent art piece, and that's tag team wrestling. So, really, really cool. It's a good question. It's hard to choose, kind of in between. I'd probably lean a little bit more towards singles, but who knows where the future takes me with that.
Yeah, man. So who's your favorite opponent so far?
Oh wow, good question. Good question. Enzo Amore and I had our battles quite a few times. I mean, we battled each other about 5 or 6 times so far that I can imagine, and each time we always nicker and fuss at each other a little bit, and we talk that smack. And listen, Enzo is notoriously known for talking smack, but Kerry Morton is just the same. I'll talk the smack and smack the hell out of them while I'm doing it too. So I like working Enzo. He's been really fun so far. You know, George South is another one that comes to mind. We tore it up, and in the main event of a show in Sevierville, Tennessee, for the promotion, I think it was KFW. I'm giving them a little plug right now, and we tore it up. Went 35 minutes.
Nice.
And, so 35 minutes of a legend like George South, and we wrestled the whole time. Pure professional wrestling. It was truly some of the most fun I've had in wrestling. Those are some names that stick out to me. You know, I wrestled Brian Pillman often. He's a good old character. We have our fun in the ring too. And so I think times are coming again. I know another one that sticks out to me a lot right now is Colby Carino.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Colby Carino, we go at it. And if the fans out there that's watching this, if they don't get opportunity, please tune into NWA USA. It's every Saturday morning at 12 o'clock. You'll see the battles of Colby Carino and I going against each other on that show. And it's really, really, we're nothing short of not giving you your money worth. So that's how we plan it out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. That's so awesome, dude. So what keeps your dad still going strong and taking bumps?
Man, that's great. You know, I think, honestly, I think it's maybe me. You know, and that's really nice to hear, too. You know, my dad doesn't need the money. You know, he does. It's not about the money for him. It's about his love for this business. You know, he loves professional wrestling. Not the professional wrestling of the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, 2010 era, and now the current modern professional wrestling. He's evolved with this, and I think that's what makes him love it more. You know, promotions like Game Changer Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, New Japan Pro Wrestling brought his passion back, and that's what's making him out there on the scene with me right now. Is we're attending these shows, we're putting on great matches, and we're making sure we give the fans their money worth, and that's what's really important to me, and I know it's what's very important to him. So I think it's the fans, and it's his love, and you know, he keeps on saying that it might be time for him to put his boots up, but here he is doing Canadian Destroyers time and time again. So I don't know what's next.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't know what's next. So I know they're doing their Rock and Roll Express farewell tour of him and Robert right now, and that's been a huge success. I know they had to just extend more dates to the tour since they're so booked up right now, and now I think they're having to extend even more dates because they're really, really I guess, you know, the rush to have the Rock and Roll Express is out there. So, you know, if they're going to keep on booking them, then I think they want to be a part of it. And they love wrestling. So that's been a huge success right now. And they're starting to talk about the last match of the Rock and Roll Express. And some interesting names have popped up so far. I can't really mention much right now because nothing's set in stone. But Ric Flair just had his last match. The R&R is going to have their last match, and there's some interesting names being thrown out there. So just know that.
That's so awesome, man.
That really is.
Yeah. So, I'm definitely going to get Fight TV and order that ASAP.
Exactly. Oh, great.
Exactly.
I don't know when the date is or anything like that, but it's been some names that are like, whoa, this is going to be insane. So who knows what happens? Who knows what happens with it?
Awesome.
So I know you don't have a lot of time to just hang out and do stuff, but when you do have free time, what do you like doing?
Oh man, that's an awesome question. I love working out. You know, I really love working out. I love training for cheerleading. You know, I train for cheerleading as I'm an NCAA athlete, but I think how I find my free time a lot in wrestling, or how I love to enjoy my free time, is kind of hopping on. I'm a video game collector, so I love like collecting video game consoles, you know, and I love hopping on Xbox with some of my friends, and we get to have a party going and talk and catch up. And then here recently, I've been a GameCube, like I've been a huge into GameCube. So I've been playing my GameCube when I get home and like going back to the nostalgic games. There's a few I'm still looking for. So hoping to grab those here soon. And that's kind of how I enjoy it. I walk my dog a lot. I love my dog.
Okay.
And so, I'm a family man. I like being at home. I'm a homebody kind of, other than working out and playing some games, I'm just trying to enjoy the family time.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
And we talked about this a little bit before we got on. What are some of your favorite horror movies?
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. I think Halloween is one that sticks out a ton right now. The Michael Myers movies, the lineage of that, I'm looking forward to the new Halloween movie that's coming out in October.
I know, I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
I can't wait.
Yes. Yeah, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
That's one that sticks to mind. Some older 70s kind of horror movies kind of stick
Yeah,
out
yeah.
too. I kind of love those series. I've been trying to get into a little bit more. I love the Purge series, which is kind of wild. Like,
Okay, yeah.
just the idea fascinated me, and the movie's been great. I don't know if they stopped making those as of now, but I followed those. It was a tradition for me, my sister. So like every time the movie came out, we'd go immediately to the nearby theater and go buy a ticket and watch it like the night of. That was just a tradition for us. So
Nice.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm following right now. I'm kind of getting in and out, watching some Netflix films when I get some time, but majority of my time is watching wrestling, watching a collapses and a colossus of just professional wrestling from all over different time periods, and that's what it's been on my iPad, my MacBook, and my TV here recently so far. So
Nice, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because I'm looking forward to Halloween Ends, but I really doubt that's going to be the end.
we like to hope so. Listen, I'm not gonna say nothing bad on here, but I'm a follower of. I love that I love where it's gone so far, but I'm hoping. I know this might sound bad, but they maybe put it in towards the movie series. I think it's about time. I think it's about time we bury the hatchet with Michael Myers and we start focusing on a couple other things, but I don't think that's the idea. Knowing how big the franchise is, it's just going to continue on.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For sure, definitely.
And
Something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. You know it. You guys already know the case.
Oh, yeah,
what am I saying? You guys already know.
Right? and just like Scream, like they just made Scream 5, and that was supposed to be the end, but it did so well at the box office, they're filming Scream 6 now.
Wow. See that?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. I think it's going to happen again this year as the box office is going to blow up and boom, here comes another Halloween movie.
Halloween never ends.
Halloween never ends. That's the one. That's the new title. Part one through part 776. Yes. Like it's one of the other two.
And what kind of songs do you like listening to? Like, what's something on your playlist?
Oh, sweet. So, I'm a big 80s fan. I love listening to some 80s fan. I'm a country guy, born up here in the mountains of East Tennessee. So I listen to a lot of country, some 80s, little rap here and there. My workout playlist is pretty stacked right now. So I'm getting into that. Just kind of listen to some independent artists, too. I love supporting independent businesses, and I love supporting independent artists. So kind of getting into that, listening to some new music, and I'm open to music suggestions. So feel free to anyone out there listening to this to send them my way. I'd love to hear some new music.
Nice, man.
Nice.
And if you were gonna do a karaoke song, what one would you choose?
Oh man, oh lovely. I'm thinking, let's see here, maybe Drake White. What's that song? Jeez Louise. Maybe some Billy Currington. I'd probably choose some Billy Currington. I'm a karaoke guy. I think that's why my parents named me karaoke. So like I'm just a karaoke fan. I love karaoke. But so I'm hearing about Drake White, Making Me Look Good Again, Billy Currington, probably some country music. I don't know. Me and Brian Pillman hung out one night, and I don't know
really
this memory. And I have a video on my phone, but I will never show that out to the public. It's for our little group chat of wrestling buddies. But Brian got up stage and he sang, "Whoa, we're halfway there."
Oh yeah, Bon Jovi, yeah.
Bon Jovi, and I remember
yeah.
Living on a prayer.
We're all a couple of drinks down, And Brian gets on that microphone and he said, "Bro!" And it was the funniest time of my entire life. I'm telling you, that guy, if there was a karaoke award, it deservingly needs to go to Brian Pillman Jr. for the performance he gave in front of about 12 people at a karaoke bar. It was phenomenal. I can go into the story, but the video might air one day, but that it's in a group chat long gone now. Super fun time, man. What a character. What a hoot. The loose cannon. That's Brian for you.
my God.
Oh yes. And how did you feel about being part of Jericho's cruise?
Oh man, what a fun opportunity it was. When Jericho invited me. At the time I was just in negotiation with NWA National Wrestling Alliance. So I didn't get the opportunity to do as much as I wanted to on the cruise, but such a fun time. The atmosphere on deck, all these wrestling fans and artists. It was kind of like within this 5-day cruise span, it became like a little family. Like it was really neat to see everybody on board and meet new people from all around the world and party and rock and roll all night long. So those that are on the cruise can probably remember, but those that are not, we'll leave that for another day.
And, is there any shows coming up that you want to plug? Like, and anything coming up for you want to plug?
Most definitely, NWA 74, St. Louis, Missouri. That's August 27th and 28th. Leading into that following Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to be at the Skyway Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. That's going to be some new tapings of NWA USA, NWA Power, and possibly another show that NWA might be bringing in. So really neat to hear that. Billy Corgan has gone some great directions. I'm booked almost every weekend on the independent scene. So feel free to follow me on social media at Real Kerry Morton on Instagram, Real Kerry Morton on Twitter, and Kerry Morton on Facebook, and find some of the shows that I'm promoting and going to be at. And come meet me, shake my hand, take a picture, buy one of my merchandise t-shirts. By all means, I would just like to meet you guys.
Sweet. And like the last thing I wanted to say before we end this is one of my favorite bouts ever. Like, I think this is what started hardcore wrestling, was Randy Savage and Lanny Poffo against the Rock and Roll Express when Macho Man pile drives your father through a table.
Yes.
I think that started the hardcore wrestling.
You know what? You're probably right. And I'll tell you this wise too, because Randy Savage and my father, Ricky Morton, were the first professional wrestlers to ever go through a table.
Exactly.
Believe that or not. So it could possibly, my father could quite frankly be the king of hardcore wrestling. Matt Cordona, right? You already got the throne, my friend. I think it now is Kerry Morton, the king of Ricky Morton, the king of hardcore wrestling. I might have to tell him that real quick, but that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? You might be onto something there. He might have started hardcore professional wrestling. So
there you go. That's a good. That's a trend.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. That's how I was like, because that was like pre WWF and stuff, WWE, and
yes.
and that was like such a great feud, because I watch all those old like tapes and matches, and like what your dad and Macho Man did that night, I think that set the bar.
Well, thank you. I'll make sure to tell him that real quick. He'd like to hear those kind words. So that's awesome.
Okay. Well, I know you got a lot to do. You have a busy weekend ahead of you. So I want to thank you so much for taking time out and coming on the show, buddy.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you having me on the show, and you guys are such great people, and I wish nothing but more success in your future with your big podcast and your big platform. So I genuinely Appreciate being on the show, and hopefully the next time I talk to you, gentlemen, I am the next NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion of the world.
Yeah, and I want to take a photo op with you too.
Absolutely, we will. We won't only photo op. We'll go across the city. We'll go across the city taking photo ops. It'll be such a magnificent feature. I hope that we get that chance to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, once more, I appreciate it. For all those that listen to us, thank you for sticking around and listening to myself chit chat with two fantastic characters on this show. I could not be more appreciative. And once more, keep on rocking and rolling.
Thank you, buddy. Thank
brother.
you.
Absolutely, guys.
All right. We'll definitely have a great night and great weekend, bud.
See you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, man.